gold engraving by hand. And I had shown him a video of like, I just thought her stuff was so cool. So I'd shown him a video like a year and a half ago. It was like, you really know me. Like I didn't know what I would want, but he did somehow. And that's kind of a flex. Light is a song about like kind of forgiving yourself for having gone through something that didn't pan out the way you wanted it to. I'm just happy that that song exists, and also like that chorus I'm really just stoked about how like absolutely infectious. It's giving yourself permission to like not have it all figured out, or not marry the first person you ever dated. Not in that situation when you don't know, you know.
When Taylor Swift blends the magic of stadium lights with the warmth of fairy lights, the result is an album overflowing with love, with her very tall fiancé as the ultimate muse. From secret garden moments to tracks that feel like hidden love letters, Taylor captures how Travis Kelce has reshaped her music and her world. Her latest project may carry the bold title The Life of a Showgirl, but at its heart, it's a rom-com soundtrack inspired by her biggest fan, Travis himself. In a recent BBC Radio 1 chat, she shared how she'd rush home from trips abroad, even from Sweden, to play her new songs for him right off the plane, turning Travis into her most trusted listener.
I would play it for him as soon as I'd come back from Sweden.
And of course, the Vibes King himself was all in, because if football ever takes a back seat, Travis could easily moonlight as a human disco ball.
But I knew that this was the kind of album that he was going to love the most. He's like so supportive of all of it, but like he's a real vibes.
Taylor laughed that her friends are always begging Travis to toss them into pools, like he's the Hulk crashing a fun family barbecue.
All of my guy friends are like, I just want Travis to like pick me up and throw me over a roof or throw me in the pool.
And then came the real kicker. She admitted that happiness hadn't destroyed her creativity at all, but instead fueled it more than she ever imagined.
Used to kind of have this dark fear that if I ever were truly like happy and free being myself and nurtured by a relationship, that like what happens if the writing just dries up? What if writing is directly
Nope, turns out love didn't make her boring at all. It made her songs sparkle, fizz, and pop louder than any champagne cork.
Turns out that's not the case at all, and we just were catching lightning in a bottle with this record.
And just when it seemed like Taylor's life couldn't get any more like a full-blown rom-com, Travis Kelce went and pulled off the ultimate move. A literal garden proposal. While most of us can barely keep a succulent alive, this man was out here building Eden, then casually dropping to one knee like it was no big deal. Taylor called it a solid 10 out of 10, which in romance points basically equals a Super Bowl ring. But the fairy tale proposal was just one layer of the story. What made it all hit harder was how Life of a Showgirl wasn't simply a sparkly new album. For Taylor, it doubled as a survival kit during the brutal tour grind. She admitted she was running on fumes, and the music became her undercover Red Bull, keeping her buzzing when her body was screaming nap time. And in peak Taylor fashion, she flexed that she can now belt higher notes while sprinting in stilettos, something even Travis can't compete with. He might catch touchdowns, but can he do that? Taylor also got candid about a lingering fear that had haunted her for years, the idea that happiness might kill her creativity. For a long time, she worried that true love could equal writer's block, that joy might dull her edge. But she quickly discovered the opposite. Instead of drying up, her pen got stronger, like it was hitting the creative gym and bench pressing ideas on steroids. Life of a Showgirl turned into pure joy bottled into melodies, not a tortured heartbreak album, but something brighter, fizzier, like catching lightning in a champagne flute and shaking it until it sparkled. And of course, this is Taylor Swift we're talking about, so the Easter eggs are glowing neon. There's Opalite for Travis, a cheeky track called Actually Romantic that fans swear is a playful clapback, and Elizabeth Taylor, because obviously Taylor couldn't resist writing about Hollywood royalty while winking at her own name. To top it all off, she reunited with Max Martin and Shellback for the first time in nearly a decade, giving the record that classic old-school sparkle, but with a fresh 2025 twist.
Opalite is a song about like kind of forgiving yourself for having gone through something that didn't pan out the way you wanted it to. I'm just happy that that song exists, and also like that chorus I'm really just stoked about how like absolutely infectious. Giving yourself permission to like not have it all figured out, or not marry the first person you ever dated. Not in that situation when you don't know, you know.
And she casually handed Greg James a wedding invite like it was no bigger deal than swapping a friendship bracelet, Pure Swift chaos, wedding edition.
Going to do that as soon as he sees you at our wedding. It's like, that's gonna happen. Like, he's just gonna...
Whoa.
Oh, did I?
Am I coming?
Obviously.
And because Taylor can't resist doubling down on romance with a Shakespearean twist, she unveiled The Fate of Oilia, a ballad that doesn't just flirt with tragedy but completely rewrites it. Where Hamlet's Oilia was lost to heartbreak and drowned by sorrow, Taylor's Oilia swims toward survival, love, and renewal. Instead of sinking, she's singing. Instead of despair, she's reborn. It's the kind of cinematic swoon moment only Taylor could deliver, blending literary drama with her own fearless narrative. She even confessed that at one point, she felt like a princess trapped in her own emotional tower, guarded not by dragons, but by the heavy ghosts of heartbreak, regrets, and endless what-ifs.
And I'd explain sort of inspirations behind different parts of songs or why I wrote things a certain way. My camera operator, Colin, said, like, it's a shame that this isn't going to be seen on like a big screen. It's such a massive production. I kind of give them an inside scoop into what went into writing this particular song, then I'd play it. And it's a music video debut.
Right.
So it's a premiere of a brand new music video that you can only see in theaters. It's not going to go on.
But then cue Travis, storming in like the knight who actually keeps his promises, pulling her out of that tower and rewriting her ending with ink made of second chances. Fans immediately clocked the parallels, comparing it to Love Story, her original fairy tale rewrite where Romeo and Juliet finally found their happily ever after. Only this time it feels weightier, more grounded. Because now it isn't a fantasy. It's personal. Travis isn't an imaginary character scribbled into existence with a quill. He's flesh and blood, a real-life hero who showed up and stayed. That shift makes the song hit differently, as if Taylor is saying, asterisk, this isn't fiction anymore. This is my life. Even the album art doubles down on that symbolism. It deliberately nods to the famous paintings of Ophelia, floating, fragile, surrounded by nature's stillness. But instead of sorrow, Taylor's version radiates resurrection. The imagery screams new beginnings rather than endings. Flowers blooming instead of wilting, sunlight breaking through instead of shadows closing in. It's Ophelia revived, standing tall rather than fading away. To be why the time Taylor landed on the Graham Norton show, she was glowing brighter than her engagement ring, which, by the way, is rumored to have cost somewhere between $700,000 and $1 million. That diamond doesn't just sparkle. It practically has its own zip code, gravitational pull, and maybe even an HOA fee. Naturally, Graham teased her about it, and Taylor just grinned. Yeah, he nailed it. She told him fans wouldn't need a press release when the wedding happens. In true Swift fashion, they'll know. Translation: prepare for an internet meltdown of biblical proportions. Servers crashing, timelines combusting, TikTok detectives already planning outfits before invites even drop. Still, she kept it grounded. Album first, vows later. Pinterest boards can wait, because right now, life of a showgirl takes center stage. On Heart Breakfast, Taylor gushed that Travis has completely rewired her creative engine. Like someone swapped out the batteries and suddenly everything runs in turbo mode. And the ring? Not just sparkly, but proof he's been taking notes like a straight-A student who never misses a lecture. A year and a half ago, she'd casually shown him a jeweler's video, and Travis tracked down that exact artist, Kindred Lubk, to hand-engrave the ring. Talk about boyfriend of the decade, maybe even the century. I had shown him a video of I just thought her stuff was so cool, so I'd shown him a video a year and a half ago. And he was just paying attention to everything, it turns out. Because when I saw the ring, I was like, oh, I know who made that, I know who made that, I know who made that. He designed it with this amazing jeweler, Kindred Lubeck is her name, and she does all of her gold engraving by hand. But what really melted fans into puddles was Taylor confessing she'd never been the type to dream about weddings or bachelorette parties. Until Travis. Now she's actually imagining a hen do with her globe-trotting girl gang. A twist so out of character it feels downright cinematic. I'd been the type of person who would have obsessed over the idea of a wedding my whole life, but I actually never thought about what I would ever do or what I would want until I met the person. It's then, so I haven't actually even thought about that. And when Emma Bunton asked about Travis's surprise cameo on the Eras tour, Taylor couldn't help but laugh, saying he's never once shown nerves about anything. Stage fright doesn't exist in his vocabulary. And that, she explained, is the magic. Her real life with Travis has been spilling into her songs in the most effortless way. turning inside jokes, quiet little moments, and grand gestures into lyrics that feel like love letters hidden in plain sight. Every melody is wrapped in metaphor and sealed with a wink only the most attentive fans will catch. The album opens with Wood, where Traylor drops superstition altogether. Forget four-leaf clovers, rabbit's feet, or Lucky Charms. She's got Travis. He's her redwood, her anchor, her wand, her immovable strength. From there she leans into Wish List, a track that swaps Hollywood dazzle for driveway basketball hoops, and a yard full of future Kelce kids. It's not about yachts or Oscars anymore. This is suburban daydream spun into song. She even admits she once prayed for a hot best friend, and now wish granted. Then there's Elizabeth Taylor, a sweeping piece drenched in old Hollywood drama that captures her biggest fear: losing him. Violet tears are tucked between the lines like secret warnings. It's less glitz, more vulnerability. A whispered plea not to let their story fade into another fleeting headline. Be forever, she seems to beg. Right after that comes Honey, the sweetest curveball. A single word that once felt sharp or dismissive now drips with affection. When Travis calls her honey, it's not condescension, it's home. And for Traylor, that shift rewrites the meaning of her own name in his voice. Her Shakespearean streak hits its peak with the lead single, The Fate of Oilia. Where Hamlet's heroine sank in despair, Traylor reimagines survival, singing instead of drowning. She credits Travis as the knight who pulled her from her tower of loneliness, flipping tragedy into a modern love story with a true happy end. Angie, it's Romeo and Juliet, but rewritten for real life. Cozy, lasting, grounded. And yes, it echoes her early masterpiece love story, but this time it's not fantasy. It's flesh and blood. Fans immediately clocked how this rebirth stands in stark contrast to last year's The Prophecy, her heartbreak anthem. The emotional 180 is dizzying, and the glow-up is undeniable. And behind the scenes, Travis has been her biggest hype man. Before anyone else got to hear the record, he was blasting unreleased tracks around the house, dancing to them, living in them. For Traylor, it sealed the truth. The Chiefs' tight end isn't just MVP on the field. He's MVP of her heart and her playlist. Of course, being Traylor, she slips in a little shade too. Opalite is the track that makes headlines all on its own. From the very first verse, she torches the past, likening old relationships to eating out of the trash. Savage, but poetic in only the way she can spin it. Just when listeners brace for a full-throttle diss track, she pivots. The song transforms into a luminous love letter to Travis, the man who turned her shattered pieces into gemstones. Still, she can't resist sneaking in a sly jab at an ex who seemed more committed to their phone than to her. You were in it for real, she was in her phone. Fans swear it's a not-so-subtle nod at one of Travis's exes, but Traylor doesn't linger in the bitterness. She closes Opalite like a cinematic sunrise, painting lightning, sleepless nights, and a love so fierce it transforms the entire sky. Travis didn't just calm her storm, he became her forever dawn. And that, in essence, is the album's heartbeat. Resurrection, rebirth, and joy reframed as art. Traylor's not just dropping bangers here. She's rewriting Shakespeare, rewriting her own story, and doing it all with the kind of unshakable confidence that only comes from being madly in love. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.